only know a few people who have done meth, and from what I understand, it is a wild stimulant that basically keeps you going and going and going. I don't know, would never try it. Sounds horrible to me. Sounds very scary. But with this meth allegedly in her system, she had plenty of time and utilized that time wisely to play, experiment with the body, and in particular the phallus of the now beheaded individual for somewhere around 2 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours of time, as one would. I mean, if you have all of that time and energy, you have to expel it some way. So she allegedly, in various ways, tested out the functionality of a phallus on a decapitated person for several hours, and then realized that things had to change. Her life was not going in the direction that she wanted in that period of time. And so she used a knife or two to sever other body parts, namely the legs or portions of the legs, and the penis of the body were removed from the torso itself. So what was left, if I remember correctly and I understand correctly, this is the rough jigsaw puzzle we've got, is a head and the other head attached to a penis were left in a bucket in the room. The body was placed into a tote underneath some blankets to keep it warm. Look, when you get significant blood loss, you get cold. So she wanted to keep the body warm, puts it under some blankets in a tote for the torso with chunks of legs, and the arms, I believe, are still attached. But the legs she had plans for, so she had her own laundry in her van, her minivan. This isn't a big guy, just needs a minivan. And she had a box of, or like some laundry, like in a laundry basket. And on top of that was the box of a crock pot. There was some initial confusion that maybe she had put the legs in a crock pot. And I'm like, where does she shop? I need a crock pot big enough for human legs for reasons. Because if you've ever tried to make like a significant amount of food in a crock pot, you run out of space. Even with a big one, you just don't have enough room. And I'm like, wow, I mean, if you can put legs in a crock pot, I need that one. But no, it was just the box of the crock pot contained the severed leg portions in the box that was on top of the laundry. So she was apprehended with the legs in the crockpot box in the van, and then they proceeded to the house, which was the victim's mother's house, to find the head and the penis and then the rest of the body along with some other stuff. The reason they were talking about maybe an absence of the amount of blood that you would expect is because the blood was there's a shower in the basement room very near to the mattress where all of this is said to have occurred. And apparently there was an attempt made by someone, definitely not the innocent queen of a defendant, to wash the blood and viscera down the shower drain. I mean, which just seems polite, frankly. You don't want that shit running all over the floor. It can get on stuff. Like, what if you have a sandwich on the floor or whatever that you're waiting to eat till later, and like the blood kind of seeps onto it? That is just unfortunate. But that is a rundown of the case as we have it right now. Okay, that is this, and I, for one, am on the defendant's side entirely and unironically, because patriots have fought for the right to privacy in our bedrooms from government for years. What two consenting adults do in the privacy of their own mother's homes while on methamphetamines is not for the government to decide. I mean, the propriety of actions engaged in, of a sexual nature between two adults is not for the government to judge, in my opinion. And I am very, very scared that this will set a dangerous precedent, that you cannot just get together with your Tinder hookup, do some meth, have a little choke chain action, engage in some knife play, maybe some necrophilia. If we can't do that, what country do we even have? What freedoms and rights even matter in the absence of the ability to choose our own way? So that's my problem with this case. That's why I'm clearly on the defense's side here. All right, we're back. I hope that helped understand. So I will be streaming the overwhelming majority of this trial. I do have to end this stream at about 4:55 p.m. today, even if they're not done, because I have to pick up my car before 5:30. Because tonight I have to pick up my son who's returning from a trip, and or my car, my van. I'm driving a big van, picking up a bunch of people, and I have to tow a big fucking trailer. So I had to get new tires because one was more bald than a Wisconsin prosecutor. So I had to do that. So I do apologize. I hope to not have to cut off any of the trial because it started at 8:30. But we might have to do that. I'll encourage people, if the trial is still going, to pop over on to Legal Vices or to Good Logic for that. Is she on a bunch of benzos? Like, she looks so fucking frustrated to be there. Just exhausted. But yeah, so
next witness?
but yeah, tomorrow we'll be back to an 8:30 a.m. start time, and we'll be going through the whole day. And there's also some interesting motion paperwork that I'll either cover during one of the day streams or one of the night streams about this. And yes, tonight I will not have a night show, but I believe every other night this week
Right up over here.
I'm set to have one.
Have a seat. If you can turn and face her and raise your right hand, she will place you under oath.
I don't know what happened to the mic.
Probably on StreamYard's end. Before the court, so help you God. I do. Please have a seat and state your name.